Leo stood at the base of a towering mountain, gazing up at the jagged peaks that reached toward the sky. "Wow!" he exclaimed. "This place is amazing!" He was standing in North Cascades National Park, a place he'd heard so much about but had never seen before. He had come with his family for a week-long adventure, and he couldn't wait to explore the wonders it held. Beside Leo stood his best friend, Garnet, a friendly mountain goat with a thick coat of fur and sharp, agile hooves. Garnet had been born in the park and knew it better than anyone. "There's so much to discover here," Garnet said, looking up at the sky. "This park has a history older than most people can imagine." Leo smiled, feeling excited to learn everything Garnet had to teach him. "What makes North Cascades so special?" he asked. Garnet started walking toward a rocky path, leading Leo along. "Well, the mountains here were shaped by glaciers over thousands of years," she explained. "These tall, jagged peaks are part of a mountain range called the North Cascades. Some of the peaks rise to over 9,000 feet. As they walked deeper into the park, Leo couldn't help but marvel at the beauty around him. The trees were so tall, and the air was fresh with the scent of pine. "So, glaciers made these mountains?" Leo asked. "Yes," Garnet answered with a nod. "The glaciers slowly carved the land into what you see today. They created valleys, ridges, and cliffs, shaping the land over time. And even now, there are still glaciers here, feeding the rivers that flow through the park." They came across a small stream, where Leo knelt down to get a closer look. "The water is so clear," he said, dipping his fingers into the cold, refreshing stream. "Where does it come from?" "Good question," Garnet replied. "The water comes from melting glaciers. In fact, the rivers here are some of the cleanest in the country. Glacial water is cold and full of nutrients, which helps the plants and animals in the park thrive." Leo stood up, still amazed. "That's incredible! I never knew glaciers were so important." "They really are," Garnet said with a grin. "The glaciers also help keep the temperature in check for all the animals living here. Without them, the park wouldn't be as balanced." As they walked through a meadow filled with wildflowers, Leo noticed the colorful blooms. "There are so many different flowers here," he said, kneeling to inspect one. "What makes them grow here?" "This park has a lot of different habitats," Garnet explained. "From the high mountains to the valleys, there's something for every kind of plant and animal. The meadows are full of wildflowers like lupines and Indian paintbrush because they thrive in the rich soil and sunlight." Leo looked around and saw more animals, each one thriving in its unique home. "What animals live here?" he asked. "Lots of different creatures," Garnet said proudly. "You might spot black bears looking for berries or salmon swimming upstream. The birds love it here too. Bald eagles soar above the cliffs, and mountain goats like me live on the steep, rocky slopes." As they reached the edge of a cliff, Leo looked out over the landscape. He could see forests of towering Douglas firs and western red cedars stretching across the valley. The trees were so tall, some of them over 1,000 years old. "These trees are huge!" Leo exclaimed. "They sure are," Garnet agreed. "The forest here is ancient. The trees create a perfect home for animals like owls, squirrels, and even tiny mosses and ferns that grow on the tree trunks." Leo smiled as he gazed up at the towering giants. He had never seen trees so big before. "This place feels magical," he said, taking a deep breath of the fresh, forest-scented air. They continued on their journey, heading toward a wide river. Leo could hear the rushing water before he saw it. The river wound its way through the landscape, carrying with it the cold, fresh water from the glaciers. Leo spotted a salmon leaping up the river's current, its body glistening in the sunlight. "I've heard about salmon runs," Leo said, watching in awe. "What's the story behind this river?" "The river is called the Skagit River," Garnet said, "and it's one of the most important rivers in the park. The salmon swim upstream to lay their eggs. The cold, Clean water from the glaciers makes it the perfect place for them to live. This river is also important for other animals, like the black bears that fish here for their meals. Leo watched as the salmon swam, fascinated by their journey. It's amazing that so many animals rely on this river for food and water, he said. After crossing a few more streams, Leo and Garnet arrived at a snow-covered area of the park. The crisp, cold air hit Leo's face as he looked around at the icy landscape. "Why is it so cold here?" Leo asked. "This is where the glaciers are," Garnet explained. "They've been here for thousands of years, and they help keep the temperature cool for the animals in the park. The glaciers slowly melt during the warmer months, and their water feeds the rivers, keeping everything in balance." Leo marveled at the snow and ice surrounding him. "The glaciers are like the park's refrigerator, keeping everything cool and fresh." "Exactly," Garnet said with a smile. "And the cool temperatures help plants like the alpine meadows grow, as well as animals like snowshoe hares that love the cold." As they continued to explore, Leo began to understand how all the elements of the park work together to create such a unique and thriving environment. "I've learned so much today," he said, feeling a sense of awe. "The glaciers, the trees, the rivers, they all play such an important role in this park." "Yes," Garnet said. "North Cascades is a special place. There's so much life here, and it's been shaped by millions of years of natural history." As the sun began to set, casting a warm glow over the landscape, Leo climbed to the top of a rocky outcrop with Garnet by his side. Together, they looked out over the vast park, filled with everything they had learned about that day. "This is the best adventure ever," Leo said with a smile. Garnet nodded. "I'm glad you enjoyed it, Leo. There's so much more to explore, and I'm always here to show you the wonders of North Cascades." Leo grinned. He knew this was just the beginning of his adventure, and he couldn't wait to see what else the park had in store for him.